Intro, my dear audience. Welcome to this video. 12 fatal mistakes lonely men must avoid. Lessons from Marcus Aurelius. If you've ever felt the crushing weight of loneliness, the emptiness of unfulfilled relationships, or the frustration of watching life pass by while others seem to thrive in love and connection, then this video is for you. Loneliness is not just an emotional state. It's a mirror reflecting the choices we make, the habits we cultivate, and the mindset we hold. Today, we will dive deep into 12 critical mistakes that men often make when they are alone, mistakes that can silently sabotage their happiness, their confidence, and their chance to attract meaningful connections. But this is not just about pointing out errors. We will take guidance from one of history's greatest philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor whose reflections have endured centuries. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that our inner life shapes our outer reality, that even in solitude, a man can cultivate strength, clarity, and purpose. By understanding these fatal mistakes, and more importantly, learning how to correct them, you can transform your loneliness into power, self-mastery, and attractiveness that goes far beyond superficial charm. So, settle in. Focus your mind, and prepare to confront the truths that most men shy away from. This isn't about quick fixes or manipulative tricks. It's about becoming a man who is grounded, disciplined, and irresistibly magnetic because of his character, his values, and his understanding of life itself. Ignoring the inner life, the fatal mistake of self-neglect. The first mistake that many lonely men make is ignoring their inner life. They focus entirely on external validation, chasing attention, seeking approval, or hoping that someone else will fill the emptiness inside. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his meditations that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When a man ignores his inner world, he allows negativity, self-doubt, and distraction to rule him. Think about it. How can anyone be attractive, confident, or emotionally available if they haven't cultivated inner strength? A man who constantly seeks the approval of others is like a tree with shallow roots, fragile, swaying at the slightest wind of rejection or criticism. The remedy is simple but profound: daily self-reflection, discipline in thought, and the conscious shaping of your mental state. Ask yourself every day, who am I becoming? What kind of man do I wish to be? These questions are not abstract. They are the foundation of your character, the seed from which confidence, resilience, and genuine magnetism grow. Lonely men often fail because they underestimate the power of the mind. They fill it with useless distractions, social media comparisons, and the noise of the world, instead of creating a mental environment that is disciplined, calm, and purposeful. Marcus Aurelius teaches that you cannot control the external world, but you can control yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions. These are entirely within your power. A man who ignores his inner life is leaving his most valuable asset, his mind, unattended. Practical steps to correct this mistake. Begin each day with reflection. Even 10 minutes of focused thought can shift your mindset. Practice journaling like Marcus Aurelius did, noting your mistakes, your goals, and your progress. Meditate on the impermanence of life. Recognize that loneliness, like all feelings, is temporary. Use it to fuel growth, not despair. A man who masters his inner life becomes naturally magnetic. Women, friends, and colleagues are drawn not to his possessions or external status, but to the calm, confident energy that radiates from a man who is in control of his mind. Living without purpose. The fatal mistake of aimless existence. The second fatal mistake is living without purpose. A man who drifts through life with no goals, no vision, and no guiding principles is like a ship without a rudder, directionless, lost, at the mercy of every storm. Loneliness is amplified when a man's life lacks meaning. The emptiness inside mirrors the emptiness of a life spent in distraction and avoidance. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly emphasized the importance of purpose. In his meditations, he writes, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Purpose is not just a career, a hobby, or a fleeting passion. It is the internal compass that defines your actions, your decisions, and your interactions. Without purpose, a man becomes reactive, waiting for life to give him satisfaction, instead of creating it himself. Many men mistakenly believe that solving their loneliness comes from external solutions, dating apps, temporary relationships, or trying to impress others. But these are superficial patches. True fulfillment comes from having a life worth sharing, a mission that drives you, and a standard of excellence in all that you do. When a man is purpose-driven, loneliness becomes a tool, not a trap. Solitude transforms into space for growth, creativity, and mastery. Practical steps to avoid aimless existence. Define your core values. What principles guide your decisions? What do you stand for? Set long-term goals that inspire you. These don't need to be grandiose. What matters is that they pull you forward with focus and excitement. Develop skills or craft that demand discipline and attention. Mastery is magnetic. It draws others to you naturally. A purposeless man waits for life to happen. A man with purpose shapes his destiny. He becomes someone who commands respect, admiration, and intrigue, not by words alone, but through the weight of a life well-directed. Loneliness fades because he is too busy creating a meaningful existence to be consumed by despair. Chasing validation. The fatal mistake of external approval. 12 fatal mistakes. The third fatal mistake lonely men make is chasing validation from the outside world. If you've ever felt the crushing weight of friends, colleagues, or social media followers, unfulfilled relationships, seeking external validation, or frustration of watching life that keeps men trapped while others seem to thrive in love and connection. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that loneliness is not just by anything external. It's a pain is not due to the choices we make, but to your habits we cultivate and the mindset we provoke at any moment. Today, when a man dives deep into 12 critical mistakes that men often make when they are alone, he becomes mistakes that can silently sabotage their happiness, their confidence. This creates a constant cycle of anxiety, frustration, and disappointment. But this is not just about pointing out errors. Fickle, we will take guidance from one of history's greatest philosophers. True confidence and attractiveness do not come from what others think of you. The Stoic emperor, whose reflections have endured centuries. Your integrity, Marcus Aurelius, to living in accordance with your inner life shapes our outer reality. To break free from this cycle, even in solitude, a man must shift his focus inward. Cultivate strength, clarity, he truly needs is from himself. By understanding not from those who may never understand his worth. Learning how to Aurelius encourages you can transform your loneliness into power. The soul becomes dyed with a color and attractiveness that goes far beyond superficial self-respect, purpose, and virtue. Settle in. You no longer crave external validation and prepare to emanate a natural authority and calmness that draws others to you. This isn't about quick fixes. Practical steps to overcome validation. It's about becoming a man who is grounded, disciplined, and irresistibly your values, achievements, and character as values, without waiting for recognition. Understanding of life itself. Limit social media, ignoring the inner life. These are external voices that distort your perception of worth. The first mistake that focus on confidence and mastery is ignoring their inner life. Excel quietly in your entirely on external validation. True respect follows action, not seeking approval. A man hoping that someone else will validation becomes magnetic. Because Marcus energy is not scattered. Reminds us it is concentrated and purposeful. The happiness of your life, women, friends, and colleagues, quality of your thoughts. And it is far more compelling than any superficial charm. He allows ignoring health and self-doubt and distraction to rule him. The fatal mistake of physical neglect. Think about it. The fourth fatal mistake lonely men commit is ignoring their health and personal discipline. They haven't cultivated Marcus Aurelius, a man who constantly seeks the approval of mind and body, is like a tree with shallow body can foster a weak mind. A man who neglects his health becomes trapped in lethargy, low energy, and the remedy is simple but profound. Loneliness intensifies. Daily self-reflection feels physically disciplined and incapable of engaging fully in life. Mental state. Physical fitness is not about vanity or impressing others. Who am I becoming? It is about self-respect. What kind of man, energy, and do I wish to be? A disciplined body supports a disciplined mind. Then a disciplined mind creates attraction that cannot be faked, from which confidence, Marcus Aurelius teaches us that nature has given us a body, and it is our duty to care for it. Often fail. It is not because they underestimate the power of the mind, but he should fear never beginning to live. They fill it with useless distractions. Living fully requires a body capable of action, endurance, and strength. Instead of creating many lonely men waste hours indulging in unhealthy habits. Marcus Aurelius teaches that you cannot control the external world, endless hours but you can control yourself. These choices erode vitality, your emotions, your reactions. Conversely, entirely within your man who treats his body, a man who ignores his inner life, exercise, leaving his most valuable asset, and consistent his mind. Cultivate a presence that
practical
commands
steps
respect,
to correct
attention,
this
and
mistake.
admiration.
Begin each
practical
day with
steps
reflection.
to cultivate physical
Even
discipline.
10 minutes of focused
Commit
thought
to daily movement.
can shift your mindset.
Even 30 minutes of
Practice
exercise
journaling
builds
like Marcus
energy,
Aurelius
confidence,
did,
and mental clarity.
noting your mistakes,
Optimize
your goals,
nutrition
and your
and
progress.
sleep.
These are
Meditate
not
on the
optional.
impermanence of life.
They are foundational.
Recognize that
Physical and
loneliness,
emotional resilience,
like all feelings,
develop small,
is temporary.
consistent routines.
Use it to fuel
Discipline
growth,
is built
not
in
despair.
tiny, repeated
A man
actions,
who masters his inner
not an
life
occasional
becomes
burst of
naturally
effort.
magnetic.
A discipline.
Women, friends,
Healthy man
and colleagues
naturally
are drawn
radiates
not to his
vitality,
possessions,
confidence,
external
and
status.
status.
Loneliness
calm,
loses its grip
confident
when a man
energy
is fully
that
alive
radiates
in
from
his
a man
body and
who is in
mind.
control of his
Prepare
mind,
for life's challenges,
living without
and
purpose,
the opportunities that come
the
with
fatal
them.
mistake
Avoiding
of
social
aimless
interaction.
existence.
The
The
second
fatal
fatal
mistake of
mistake
isolation
is living
The fifth
without
fatal
purpose.
mistake is
A
avoiding
man who
social
drifts through
interaction.
life with no goals,
Loneliness
no
is often
vision, and
compounded
no
by
guiding
the very
principles
habit
that
that
seems like
without a
protection,
rudder,
directionless,
withdrawal, lost,
many men
at the mercy
fear
of
every
rejection or
storm.
discomfort.
Loneliness
Retreat
is
further
amplified
into
when
isolation,
a man's life lacks
thinking it will
meaning.
shield him from
The
pain.
emptiness inside
But Marcus
mirrors the
Aurelius
emptiness of
teaches
life.
that humans are
Spend
social
distraction
creatures,
and
and
avoidance.
engaging with others
Marcus
is essential
Aurelius
to fulfilling life.
repeatedly emphasized
Men
the
exist for
importance
the
of
sake of
purpose.
one another.
In
Teach
his
them
meditations,
then,
he
or
writes,
bear with them.
Avoiding
Waste no more
social
time
situations
arguing
does not
about what a
protect
good
man.
man should be.
It reinforces
Be one.
anxiety, awkwardness,
Purpose
and
is not just a
loneliness.
career.
The
a
solution
hobby,
is
or
not
fleeting
superficial
passion.
charm.
Or
It is the
pretending to
internal
be someone
compass
you
that
are not.
defines your
The
actions,
solution is
your
consistent
decisions, and your
intentional
interactions.
practice.
Without
Begin
purpose,
with small steps.
a man becomes
Conversations
reactive,
with acquaintances,
waiting for life
engaging
to give him
in group
satisfaction,
activities, volunteering,
instead of creating
or pursuing
himself.
shared interests.
Many men mistakenly
Social
believe
confidence
that
grows
solving
like a
their
muscle.
loneliness comes from
It
external
strengthens only
solutions,
through use,
dating
not
apps,
avoidance.
temporary
Marcus
relationships,
Aurelius
or trying to
reminds
impress
us that life
others.
is a constant
But these are
interplay
superficial
between individual
patches.
and society.
True fulfillment
By
comes from
isolating
having a life
oneself,
worth sharing,
a man
a
disconnects
mission
from
that drives
opportunities,
you,
friendships,
and a standard of
experiences that
excellence
can
in
enrich
all
his
that
life
you do.
and attract
When a
meaningful
man is
relationships.
purpose-driven, interaction
Loneliness
is not
becomes
about
a
immediate
tool,
results,
not a trap.
It is about learning,
Solitude
growth,
transforms
and presence.
into space for
A
growth.
man who consistently
Creativity
engages
and
with others
mastery.
becomes socially
Practical
adept,
steps to
emotionally
avoid
resilient,
aimless
and
existence.
attractive.
Not
Define
because
your
of
core
words or
values,
tactics, but
What
because of
principles
presence,
guide your
authenticity, and
decisions?
courage.
What do you
Practical
stand for?
steps to
Set
overcome
long-term
isolation.
goals that
Set
inspire you.
weekly social
These don't
goals,
need to be grandiose,
no matter how small.
What matters
Start with one
is that they
conversation
pull you
or
forward
event
with
per
focus
week.
and excitement.
Embrace
Develop
discomfort.
skills or
Growth
craft
comes
that
from
demand
doing what you
discipline
avoid.
and attention.
Observe and learn.
Mastery is
Pay
magnetic.
attention to social
It
dynamics.
draws others to
Listen
you
naturally
naturally
and
A
adapt.
purposeless
naturally.
man waits
A
for life
man
to
who
happen.
conquers isolation
A man
becomes
with
magnetic
purpose shapes his
because
destiny.
he demonstrates
He
courage.
becomes someone who commands
social
respect,
intelligence,
and a zest
admiration,
for
and
life.
intrigue.
Women, friends,
Not
and
by
colleagues
words
are
alone,
drawn to energy,
but through the weight of a
presence,
life well
and someone who
directed.
actively participates
Loneliness
in the world
fades
rather
because
than
he is
hiding
too
from it.
busy creating a meaningful existence to be consumed by despair.
Intellectual
Chasing
emotional
validation,
mastery.
The fatal
Welcome
mistake,
to this video.
mistake,
External
reactivity.
12 fatal
The
mistakes.
third
6
fatal
fatal
mistake
mistakes
must
lonely
lonely
men
men
make
make
chasing
lessons
validation
collected
from
emotional
the
mastery.
outside world.
Emotion,
If you've ever
whether
felt
the
the
uncontrolled
women,
women,
friends,
dominant
colleagues,
behavior,
or social
empty
clouds,
judgment,
unfulfilled
and sabotage
relationships,
external
relationships,
validation
or
for the
frustrations
ease
of
of watching
watching
life
that
pass.
keeps men
Marcus
trapped
Aurelius
while
reminds
others
you to
insecurity
thrive
and
and love
dissatisfaction.
power over your mind.
Marcus
Then not
Aurelius
outside
reminds
events
you
that
realize
you are
loneliness is not
distressed
just
by
an
anything
emotional
external. It's a
Many
mirror
men are not
reflecting
anger,
their
frustration,
frustration,
or
but to your
impatience that
habits
habits
we
we
cultivate
cultivate
and
and
the
this you have the
mindset
power
they
to
react
provoke
impulsively
any
today.
objection.
When
When
a
a
man
man
dives
dives
deep
deep
into
into
small
recognition,
critical mistakes
which
that men
surrenders
always
his
make
power
deepens
alone.
loneliness.
He becomes
the
a
stakes
emotional
against
reactivity,
silent
sabotages
silent
their
killer
happiness,
confidence.
their calm,
This creates a
respect,
constant
and
cycle
their
of
man who
anxiety,
cannot manage
frustration,
emotions
and disappointment.
But this is not just about his
immature, fickle
qualities
that
that
guide
guide
him
meaningful
meaningful
connections.
connections.
True confidence
Key
and
is
attractiveness
awareness
do
do
not come for what others
Emotional
think.
mastery does not come
reflections
from
have
presence
endured
and worth.
centuries.
Your
It means
integrity,
observing
Marcus
your
Aurelius
commitment to living in
teaches
accordance
that
with
our
your
inner life
principles
shapes
and
our
choosing
outer
to break
balances.
free from this
That
cycle.
even
A man
in
who
solitude
masters
must
his
emotions,
emotions
man
feels
can
grounded,
cultivate
calm,
strength
and
and
clarity
what he
and
truly
purpose.
needs
Presence
from
alone
himself.
by
Communicate
understanding
not
the
from those who
reliability
made
and
and more
emotional
intelligence.
Learning how to
Marcus
trace
Aurelius
women and
encourages
people
you
can
to transform
transform
the
the
loneliness
attractive
into power.
The
Practical
practical
steps
steps
to cultivate an
attractiveness
attractiveness that goes
If
far
your
beyond
thoughts are
superficial
superficial
self-respect.
Take a breath
Purpose and virtue
analyze, settle in, no longer crave focus validation, and prepare to emanate on natural that most men shy away. Journaling can reveal this is about quick fixes, practical steps to practice Stoic. It's about becoming a man, practice sound discipline, and imagine your value, achievements, character, value, emotional understanding of life, and limit social media, ignoring inner life. A man who governs his mind voices that self is no longer a victim. The first mistake that focus on confidence and mastery, not about inner life, naturally draws quietly entirely on fearing validation. The fatal mistake follows action. The seventh and final fatal mistake, hoping that someone else will validate emptiness and fear is the silent enemy. Marcus Aurelius many men avoid concentrated and happiness in your life, women, friends, colleagues, quality, rejection, embarrassment. When a man ignores any superficial Marcus Aurelius, ignoring health and discipline. Do not be ashamed of fatal mistake. Do not be ashamed of mistakes. The fourth fatal mistake lonely men confident. Each step emotions available to having cultivated Marcus Aurelius, a man who constantly leads to missed opportunities. Is like a tree weak body can foster. Life rewards gradual. Not a man who neglects his health, a man who fears failure, low energy, and the remedy is simple but profound. Imagining daily self-reflection of living discipline and women and people in conscious shape are drawn to men who act physical. Ask yourself every day who face challenges. Who am I becoming? It is about self. What kind of man? The remedy is deliberate action. A disciplined body has an abstract mind. Focus on effort, mind, and contraction that cannot guarantee its success. Marcus Aurelius failure is not a burden. Genuine magnet feedback. And every lonely man often fails. It is not because they underestimate more capable, but he should fear never Marcus beginning to live with useless distraction. Living fully requires social media comparisons. What matters is integrity. Instead of creating many lonely men gaze hours indulging in unpractical steps to overcome Marcus Aurelius teaches small cannot control social or endless hours of you can control redefine these choices erode vitality. Every no reaction or setback converse entirely within your man who practices body. A man who ignores gradually challenge his most valuable and consistent mind. A man cultivates a presence, practical steps to correct attention and admiration. Begin each practical step to determination, even 10 minutes of focus, commit tracking opportunities, even 30 minutes of practice journaling, effort, energy, confidence, transforming, noting your mistakes, optimize nutrition, and your progress. As we conclude, these are meditate on the impermanence. Loneliness is their foundation. Recognize that loneliness is a signal. It is a universal way of telling you to examine. Use it to fuel growth, strengthen your character, and master. A man who masters his inner life. Marcus Aurelius naturally magnetic. Discipline, women, friends, and colleagues mistakes with intelligence, confidence, ignoring the inner life. Loneliness without purpose. Confidence is validation from a man neglecting health. Prepared for life's challenge. Living without purpose. Opportunities that come with fatal mistakes. Avoiding social interactions are not inevitable. The second mistake of isolation, and with awareness without courage and discipline, is a man who corrects through life with loneliness is often compounded no guiding principle. Cultivate your mind. Seems like a strengthen your body, direction, master your emotions, many men, and engage in rejection or discomfort. Become a man who is further into isolation, life, thinking it will shield them from pain. By doing so, Marcus Aurelius teaches that humans are social creatures and avoid you become magnetic. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly emphasized the importance of purpose. Life does not hand out meditations. Bear with them. It rewards waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. It reinforces anxiety, awkwardness, purpose and not just career. The solution is not superficial. Build the life you desire. It is the internal attraction that defines your solution and above all, and your intention. Become a man who does not fear begin with small steps. A man becomes conversation with acquaintances, waiting for life, engaging in group activities, volunteering, pursuing shared purpose. Many men mistakenly social confidence solving their loneliness comes from external solutions only through use, dating apps, avoidance. Temporary Marcus Aurelius reminds us that life is a constant but these are superficial individual and society. True fulfillment comes from having one life worth sharing. A man mission that drives these friendships and a standard of excellence that can enrich his life and attract meaningful when a man is purpose-driven. Interaction is not about immediate results, not a trap. It is about learning, solitude transforms into space for a man who consistently engages with others becomes socially practical steps to emotionally resilient and attractive. Define your core value tactics, but because of presence, authenticity, and courage. What do you stand practical for? Steps to overcome long-term goals that inspire you. Weekly social These don't need to be grandiose, no matter how small. What matters start with one conversation, they pull you forward with focus and excitement. Embrace develop skills or growth comes from doing discipline avoid and attention. Observe and learn. Mastery is magnetic. Pay attention to social dynamics. It draws others to listen naturally. And adapt. A purposeless man waits for a man who conquers isolation. A man with magnetic shapes his because destiny. He demonstrates courage. He becomes someone who commands social intelligence, admiration, for life, intrigue. Women, friends, not by words drawn to energy, but through the weight of a life well and directed. Someone who actively participates loneliness in the world fades because he is too busy creating a meaningful existence to be consumed by despair.